Provo versus Orem. Hi, I'm Becca Summers, your Utah Realtor, and today we're going to talk about the differences and the similarities between Provo and Orem, Utah. So you're exploring Utah, you're thinking about making the change, and these two cities keep popping up, but you're not really sure what makes them unique or different or why you should even consider them. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. So first, let's talk about where they're located. Provo and Orem, Utah are located in Utah County, which is the county just south of Salt Lake City. Salt Lake is our biggest metro. Provo-Orem is our second biggest metro, with Ogden coming in third. So being the second largest metro in Utah, most of the time when the stats are talking about it, they are combining the two cities because they are very similar, but there are some differences. So let's talk about the differences. So Provo is the older of the two. Provo was established in 1849 and it is about 43 miles from Salt Lake City. So it's a little further south than Orem, not by much. They do touch, they do share a border, but Provo's a little further south. Provo is home to BYU, Brigham Young University, which is one of the older established schools here in Utah that is run by the LDS Church. With that, they have a great program in terms of schooling and college and great reputation. Provo also has the Freedom Festival that runs from May until July, and they have a firework program that brings in national renowned artists to sing at the show. So it's one of the big highlights of the year. And the Freedom Festival parade is also a big parade that they'll close down University Avenue and let people explore. The interesting thing about Provo in terms of housing is Provo is actually more expensive than Orem. And there are sections and pockets of Orem that are more desirable and cost more even compared to the house just across the street. So it is one that you need to fully understand where you're looking to buy and invest in, because Provo is fairly diverse in terms of the housing. Provo itself does have some buildable land left on the west side of the freeway where the new airport is. So there is still some new construction in Provo, but if you want to be in the heart of Provo, it's going to be very hard to find some newer construction because it is such a developed city. Provo, it was developed like Salt Lake, where it's in the grid patterns for the downtown area, so it's very easy to figure out the east and west and getting around. And then as it's been further developed and grown, it has a different pattern. So in Provo, in terms of housing, you can find any type of housing you need. You can find multifamily, you can find condos, townhomes, single family up to multi-million-dollar homes in Provo. Plenty of options when it comes to shopping. One thing that Provo is known for is students and student housing. Because BYU is there and has been established for a very long time, it is where a lot of younger people live, and the average population of Provo is actually 23 years old because of the housing. Now let's talk about Orem. So Orem is, again, very similar. It was developed in 1919, so a little bit newer, but still over 100 years old. And Orem is going to be a little more affordable in terms of housing. The average house size in Orem is going to be smaller. It's going to be around 2,000 square feet, and a lot of Orem was developed in the 1940s, right after the war, so there's a lot of smaller neighborhoods, more affordable housing. Orem also has all the options you need, from condos, townhomes, multifamily, up to multi-million-dollar homes. So lots of options in Orem, and Orem does have sections that are different values, higher values, lower values, and again, same thing where there's some streets that are worth way more than others. So making sure you're working with a professional so you don't end up buying in an area that is going to be a little harder on resale value. The other big thing that Orem is known for is Utah Valley University. The interesting thing about Utah Valley University is it is actually larger than BYU, and it has just passed the cusp of being the biggest university in Utah. It was a community college, and as it has grown and evolved, it has become, and it is a great university that a lot of locals attend, and it's just a couple miles from BYU. So lots of schooling options when it comes to the Provo-Orem area. When it comes to dining and shopping, Provo and Orem are very similar. Both of them have their own mall. Provo has a beautiful historic downtown and all the shopping you could potentially need. Orem is home to Trader Joe's and Costco, and Provo is home to Sam's Club. So plenty of opportunity to shop and dine, has really all the restaurants you need because it really is the hub of Utah County where most of the development has happened. Orem has the same situation as Provo, but possibly worse. Orem really doesn't have any buildable land left. It has been pretty well fully developed. There are pocket subdivisions that come up here and there, Most of the homes you'll find in Orem are built between 1940 and 1990, and there's not a ton of new construction after that. There is a sub-city called Vineyard that used to be part of Orem that has since broken off and is its own city. It is on the east bank of Utah Lake, west of Orem. So it has become its own city with its own mayor. But that is where, if you're interested in Orem and you want new construction, Vineyard might be a good option to explore. One interesting thing about Provo and Orem is even though they are neighbors and friends, they are not in the same school districts. Provo has its very own school district that only supports these schools in Provo, where Orem is part of the Alpine School District, which is the largest school district in Utah County, encompassing from Orem up to Alpine Highland and over to Eagle Mountains. So Orem is part of a much larger school district. Provo is its very own smaller school district, but it does have 2 high schools, so it still has a large population. One interesting thing about Provo is because BYU is there, a lot of the professors live in Provo and they are very engaged in the schooling. So you get really good schooling in Provo in the Timpview High School area. And with Orem being part of the Alpine School District, it does have 3 high schools in it. So quite a large population of children, a little bit older average age compared to Provo. And that is one reason why Utah is doing so well in terms of economical growth. We have a highly educated population and a very young population, which lends to businesses coming to Utah, wanting to start and grow their businesses here because we have the workforce to support them. If you would like to see more videos like this, please comment below what cities you're interested in and we'll make sure we get them added to the list.